I think when you are pushed to the limit so far that you just don't want to be that person anymore is when you're going to change.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Reesa and I'm your host. We are talking to real families about real stories here on The Real Family Eats, where we've got food for thought and thoughtful food. So let's eat. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited about today's episodes, not only about the recipe, but for the stories I'm sure we will talk about. I have got Dr. Taylor Harper here joining us. Hi, Taylor. Thank you so much for joining and being a guest on The Real Family Eats today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I can't wait to kind of talk about, parenting stuff, life, the chaos that goes on in my house. And I'm sure this is going to be a favorite episode amongst the kids when they hear about the recipe. So,
Yes. Speaking of, okay, so for anybody who doesn't know you, can you introduce yourself for us?
sure, yeah. So I am a child psychologist. I am a boy mom of two. I am a children's book author. Let me think of what else is going on. I'm a homeschooler, so we can talk about that a little bit. And yeah, just born and raised in the Midwest, moved out to California, and just kind of living life and figuring it out.
Love it. Okay, so you kind of alluded to the recipe. So tell us, what recipe are you going to share with us parents today and why did you choose this one?
Sure. So first of all, I'll pull this up. So this is the series that I started about our 4-year-old and his baby brother. And it's cooking in the kitchen. So we do recipes all the time. It's a little chaotic on Instagram. We cook and do all those fun things. But the recipe I picked was something that I used to like love as a kid. And they are, those like little, they're like cosmic brownies. I think like little Debbie made them or something like that. But
Okay.
it's a cookie version of that. So it's always a fan favorite in our house. It's always fun. The kids love it. And it's actually in the back of this book. So it's the recipe in the back of the book.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me give me the overview of all the steps that I'll be doing, and then I'll get cooking and baking while we chat today.
Sure. Yeah. So we're gonna like put all the ingredients in the bowl, right? Pretty standard stuff. We're gonna like use, light brown sugar, granulated sugar, an egg, vanilla, light corn syrup. And for anyone who doesn't know, not the same thing as high fructose corn syrup, just in case nobody knew. Um, Baking soda, salt, dark cocoa powder, all-purpose flour, chocolate, and then of course we have our rainbow sprinkles, which you have to be specific about.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so you're gonna like kind of mold them together. You're gonna put them on the pan, put them in the oven, and you get to decorate with the cute little sprinkles that everybody knows. I mean, I can't imagine a human being who doesn't know those sprinkles.
Right. All right, I love it. And yes, I think you're so spot on in the fact that anytime my children have an excuse, right, to eat something sweet, they're
hmm
all on board. So I'm sure they will have a fun surprise when they come home.
I know. I feel like your
Okay.
kids are gonna love me. I'm gonna be the new favorite in the house, and they don't even know
Right.
me, which
Right,
is
they
even better.
don't. It's just this is what we made, and this is who
hmm
taught it. So love it. Okay, well I can absolutely plug and play and put all of these in the mixer while we chat. And while we do that, I know that you had mentioned boy mom, two boys. You're kind of in the thick of it. So let's chat. I would love to kind of hear a little bit about some of the challenges that you have experienced firsthand that maybe don't really fit with the beaver cleaver, oh, everything's just so amazing kind of lifestyle. Tell me about it.
I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is our 4-year-old has the most like bubbly, just outgoing personality, with a little bit of lack of focus.
Okay. Okay. I could see that.
He is the smartest, sweetest child. Um, but he also like is one of those kids that takes no mercy,
Okay.
especially especially with adults.
Like, can you say more? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so like as a prime example, he's in karate. And at karate, I will get videos of him and you would think he was on Broadway. Like he will, I have a video and it's like a 30-second long video of him kicking and he goes, Kia! And it is just the lengthiest, like most drawn out, dramatic thing in the whole world. And it is so cute and so funny. And he just has such this like big personality. And so sometimes I have to like reel him in and I'm like, hey buddy, we have to like focus, right? We gotta like get back on track. And I shouldn't even say sometimes because it's a lot of the time. Um, and he definitely has some interesting things that he loves that, some parents don't love as much. So one of my son's favorite things is Hocus Pocus. Um,
The movie?
yes. Yes, obsessed.
Okay.
Has been obsessed forever. I mean, forever. Like we have purchased a cape and he will sing the whole song. And I mean the whole thing.
Love it.
Start to finish. Like he gets into this zone and he is like on his own little Broadway show and it is just the cutest, like funniest thing to watch, but it also comes with like so many challenges, especially homeschooling, because when we're in homeschooling, right, it's like I can kind of just allow him to be him, right? And like, whatever, if you want to get into your own world and do your thing, like that's cool. And then sometimes when he goes out into like a community setting or things like that, and they expect him to focus, like at karate, for example,
Mm-hmm.
he's that kid in the back of the room that's like coaxing other people to like talk to him and like not pay attention.
Yes.
And it's walking this fine line between like not hindering his personality and
Mm-hmm.
also like being like, hey buddy, it's time to check in, right? It's time to like do our thing. We gotta like, pay attention. And he
Yeah.
just watching him and like the joy that he has is so hysterical. But also sometimes it's also managing my expectations, right? Because I sort of have a little bit of that like people pleaser mentality, right? And so I'm like, okay, buddy, we gotta focus. And then I'm like, you know what? Why do I even care? Why do I care what other people think about what my kid's doing? He's having fun, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like managing our own expectations too, right? Of like, my kid's fine. He's fine. Like it's not, if this is how he wants to spend his karate time is doing a 30-second kick in the air, then whatever, and so sometimes I think with parents a lot it's about like our perception of what other people think and really like it shouldn't be that, like just allow your kid to exist the way that they are, right, and like give them the chance to have that super big bubbly outgoing personality, right, because we need more people like that. We need people who truly like care about the world and are present and who like just enjoy life. Like, and I think as adults, we like forget that you're supposed to enjoy life.
Yeah. And I think you're so spot on because I've heard that from so many parents, right? That idea, like you said, that there's so much pressure, whether it's external pressure or internal pressure, of like, we've got to quiet it down, we've got to fit, and like society says,
Oh yeah.
focus and pay attention, and all these things, and then if you're too big, it's too much, right? And to pull it back, and then there's that, like you said, that fear of are people looking at me now, and what are they thinking, and are they judging me? And so I think you're so spot on, and I feel like one of the things that I hear from people is I want to be able to get to that point where it's like I don't care and I can just let them be. And
Yeah.
it's so hard. Like it's easier to say like, yeah, I don't care than it is to actually like when you're in it to kind of
Hmm.
be able to do some of that surrendering. And so I'm so curious, like, have you for yourself done like any exploration as to like why does that even exist? Like what's the purpose or the function for you in that, like you said, that people pleasing or having that like awareness of what are people thinking right now?
Oh yeah, I mean this goes way down the rabbit hole, but yes, I've done a lot of like inner work to realize why it is that I grew up in that sort of people-pleasing mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Um But that doesn't mean that I'm perfect, right? Like there are totally moments where I go back into it and I'm like, okay, okay, we're let's just like, let's just get it together. And then I have to remember that like I am the road in my child's journey, right? Like I'm here to create the general road for you, but I'm not here to hinder you or to shift you in a way, right? Like I'm here to just help you.
Hmm.
And so I think I just look back to all of the things that I wish I could have done differently, right? Or um that someone would have told me, right? Like, hey, be you, do your thing, right? Like, there are so many kids right now, even that I see on a day-to-day basis, right? Who get diagnosed with like ADHD or something like that, right? And they're too big for the classroom, right? They're just too big for the classroom. And so what do we do? Instead of promoting that child in the way that they are, they say, hey, let's dull this kid down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what life is, right? Like they were made that way for a reason, right? There's something going on there. There's like, let's I think I just try to focus more on like, okay, if this is what you enjoy, if this is what you love, let's give you those tools, right? Versus let's hinder that, right? And so that's why we started homeschooling, to be quite honest. I saw his personality and I saw how big he was, and I saw like how sweet and kind and just so loving towards his like baby brother he was, that I didn't want to dull that light. And I don't want to hate on like schools. I think there's so many incredible teachers. Like I really do. I think there are so many people that are working so hard every day, but it's the system as a whole. Like, and I again like there are so many teachers that I absolutely admire. I actually went back to my old elementary school about 2 weeks ago to do an author assembly, and my third grade teacher had actually just retired like last year, so I missed him by like a year, and I was so excited for that experience because he was just such like a pivotal part of my life. So there are those teachers doing the really good work. It's just the system is like not built for everybody, right? It's just not there. And so I'm so happy and fortunate that we have homeschooling as an option, and my kid gets to do all these fun incredible things. um but yeah, it's a battle every day, right? Because sometimes I'm like, is schooling the best option? Should I send him to school? I mean, that's like an everyday battle, right?
Yeah.
And then I see how much he's grown and how much he's evolved, and I fight it every day. I fight it with my own family. Like,
Do
you
you
know,
really?
oh yeah, totally. Like they're like, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is your kid homeschooled, right? And the biggest
Mm.
thing, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well, the biggest thing I get is, what about socialization?
Yeah. I've heard that one. So many. Yes, for sure.
Ah, it is absurd to me. It is absurd. And I'm like, okay, let me just play this out for you. What about socialization is a kid sitting at a desk having to raise their hand, not engaging with their peers? That's not socialization to me
Mm.
at all. Right? Or
Yeah.
getting yelled at when they engage with their peers. That's not socialization. I don't get yelled at when me and you are talking. That's
We'll get
not.
yelled at because, like you said, that maybe you're a little bit louder, or maybe
Mhm.
you do kind of have this larger than life kind of personality. And then, like you said, is that socialization to be like quiet down, right? No, fit inside this box that we've designed for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, and so that was like the biggest thing for me. And so that's the question that I get asked the most.
Yeah.
I would say when homeschooling is brought up, that's the thing I get asked the most. Like, what about socialization? I'm like, listen, my kid just got to go last week to do an author visit with me. He got to see like over 500 kids, right? And he got to be a part of what mom does. Like
Mm.
that to me is so much more beneficial, right? And that's not everybody's journey. And I totally
Yeah.
understand that. And there is no pressure to do anything you don't want to do. Like truly do what is best for you. And I like wholeheartedly mean that. Like do whatever is best for you and do whatever is best for your kids.
Yeah.
But to me, like those experiences are just so pivotal. He got to go with mom to Chicago and like see what that was like, right? And see what mom does, and
Mm-hmm.
he got to be like a part of that, and he got to see himself, right? So like I was reading this, so I have 4 books, but I was reading this to the older kids, and then we are doing meditation and mindfulness for the younger kids. And so he got to come in, and like all of these kids were so excited to meet him because it was him. And so
Yeah.
he was like super excited. He like didn't know what to do, and he kind of like froze, and he was just like, and no, he doesn't realize he's like famous, right? He has no concept of that. I
Mm-hmm.
get asked that too. Like, does he realize that? And I'm like, not really. No, he doesn't. Um, he just, like even the other night, he got to go and sign books at an author visit that I did. And he was like, Mom, why do they want my signature? I was like, well, buddy, because you're on the book.
Yeah.
And he was like, they don't want me to sign their name. And I was like, no, no, they want you to sign your name. They want you to sign your name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he gets to do like some of these incredible things, and I'm so
Mm-hmm.
fortunate to be able to give that to him. And like, I'm so aware of that. Like, I, like a part of it is me creating that experience, right? But a part of that is also like just understanding that I'm so fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and I love literally every second of it. Like, truly, my favorite thing on this whole planet. Hardest thing I do is being an author. Favorite thing is being a parent. Like, and I know everyone will like roll their eyes and be like, yeah, whatever. And like there are totally hard moments. Like let me make that absolutely clear. As we've talked about a little bit, my 16-month-old is literally not sleeping through the night, period. Um,
Yeah.
he
Oh my
is
goodness.
his coping mechanism is milk. So
That's got to be exhausting.
so his two coping mechanisms are milk and sleeping in between his mom and his brother. So it's there's been a lot of unintentional co-sleeping nights for sure because eventually you just at 4 a.m. you're like, forget it. This isn't worth it. Um, so yeah, our bed is totally full between dad, our 4-year-old, our 16-month-old, and me. Our bed is tapped out. The dogs are on the floor. Like they have, that's it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think, I'm always just I think and I had to change my mindset and this has been, over time, but I'm just so grateful to get to experience these things, right? And like be present for them. And I think that's the biggest thing is like just be present, right? Like and I know like again people roll their eyes and be like, you're not that happy. Yeah, I know. There are moments where I totally am like losing my shit.
Mm.
Like I'm
Yeah.
a human, right? Like that absolutely happens. But
Can I pause you
at the
just
end of
for 1 second there? The losing your shit part, because this is something I don't know if you get asked this, but I feel like I get
yeah.
asked this as a therapist. They're like, for real though, like, do you ever lose it? Let's be real. And people don't believe me, so I'd love take a moment, ask you the same question I get asked so many times. So even as a therapist, you lose your shit.
Oh my God, totally. I'm a human. Like that is,
Right.
I know that people think that we're like perfect and like we just have all these answers, right? And again, with everything, it's easier for me to tell somebody how to do their life than it is to do mine, right?
100%.
Um, right. Everyone can give advice, right? But does that always mean you're taking it? I have no idea, right? But I think for me, I've gotten really good at prioritizing things that I really enjoy in order to give myself that space.
Okay. Can you say more about that?
So sure, favorite things of mine, sauna. I'm like this very ritualistic human being. Every Friday I go to the sauna. That's kind of my jam. Every Sunday I go to yoga. I do like a restorative yoga class.
Okay.
Once a month I go to her name is Detox by Rebecca. It's a lymphatic drainage. So I'll make like one day and I'll do that and I'll do a facial. So I'll literally go like 5 minutes away, I'll go to the LA facialist and I'll kind of just create this day for myself, right? And that to me just gives me that extra moment to just kind of like right, because on Fridays it's just me and the kids. I don't work on Friday, so it's just me and the kids all day long. So by the time 6 o'clock or whatever time it is rolls around, my husband comes strolling down. I'm like, okay, going to the sauna. Bye. See you later.
I gotta get out of here.
I'm like, bye. It's been fun. Um, yeah, I'm like driving our car on like one wheel. I'm like, see you guys later. No, so I absolutely have moments, but I think I've just learned over time that and I think back to this, I'm creating someone's inner self, right? And I think that's so crucial that I don't lose my shit. And if I do, then like I need to like take a step back and I know this is hard for parents, you need to apologize. And I know it's hard,
Mm.
right? You need to apologize. And I think for me, that's like, it was hard at first because I was like, why would I apologize? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, I'm creating a whole person, right? And if I want this person to apologize for things that they do to other people, then I need to mirror that, right? So
Hmm.
even if I do lose my shit, which it totally happens,
Yeah.
um, I get on his level and I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I look him in the eyes like I would do to anybody else and I apologize. And
Yeah.
it was real hard at first. It was like,
Can you say more about that? Because you're so right, and I hear that all the time, right? There's this idea of like, apologize to my kids.
mhm.
What? For you, like, what did you find maybe was some of your hangups, and what did make it so difficult?
I think it's that concept of like, if the tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did the tree fall? Right?
Hmm.
So I think a lot of parents can see it as like, oh, I don't need to apologize to my kid because like they're not gonna remember, they're not gonna know, right?
Yeah.
Like, did the tree really fall? Right? And you can just kind of walk away, right?
Hmm.
But what you're doing is you're just modeling behavior, right? So at the end of the day, like they're gonna be like, oh, I don't have to apologize. Why would I? Right.
Yeah.
So I just always kind of try to come from this place of love and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's hard. Like that's hard, right?
Yeah.
But my biggest thing, right? is when I'm driving home from work. Again, I create these little moments for myself, right? So when I'm driving home from work, I'm either listening to like a murder podcast, which I feel like is like all females, or I'm jamming out to like some 2000s rap. We're talking like Eminem, whatever you can possibly think of. That's just like a little intense, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of just like sits me in a good place, right? Or I create a fun thing for my kids. So being a boy mom means a lot of physical altercations.
Yes.
So it's something that I do with our oldest, and he thinks it is the funniest thing in the world. We have speakers like downstairs that are in our like ceiling, and so I'll turn
Mm-hmm.
on our like speakers and I'll play hopefully they see this. I I play WWE music. Um
Do you really?
yes, I
Why?
do. Yes, I absolutely do. And we will like fake wrestle. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Yes, here's my therapist moment. Just play WWE music and wrestle with your kids.
Right? Well, what I love about that is right, it's a great way to channel the energy. And like you said, kind of towards the beginning, is that these are things that if we can nurture them and create that path, and even reframing our own way of looking at it, that gosh, how much we could nurture some of that creativity and some of that energy that is naturally going to be there developmentally. I mean, like you
Oh
said,
yeah.
they've got those feelings. They're going to find a way to do that WWE wrestling, whether you give them a space to do it or not. And so now in this way, what I love is that you're providing maybe like an outlet for that in a contained, kind of
Oh yeah.
okay, safer way. Maybe that's the word I
Yes.
want.
Yes. A lot of life with kids is reframing. So we
Yeah.
went through a massive throwing phase with our 4-year-old, and it was right before, of course, our youngest was about to be born. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's throwing everything. This is just so hectic. And my husband, of course, like turns and looks at me, and I'm like, I don't know, right? Like, I have no idea. What do I do with this? He's just throwing. It's just insane. I don't know. And at one point he broke a TV on accident. Yeah, yeah. So we had went on a vacation and we went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and we got him like this toy car and it was like a pretty heavy vehicle.
Okay.
Um and all of a sudden I came upstairs one day and he had just went upstairs for like literally 30 seconds. I was like, "Hey buddy, go like get your shorts, come downstairs." I go upstairs because he's taking a long time, which probably means he's like in his own world. And
100%.
all of a sudden I just see this like crack in the TV and I was like, okay. And I try to like keep my cool, right? Because I realize that like, yes, does it absolutely suck to have to buy a new TV? Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But is me losing my cool going to be beneficial? No, it's not. And at the end of the day, all I'm doing is I'm making myself feel better. It's not changing what happened. I'm just mad at him and so I'm going to take it out on him, but that doesn't make anything better. And all I'm doing is creating like more problems for him.
Yeah.
So I talked to him about it. I said, buddy, just please be honest. Like, what happened? And he was like, well, I thought it was funny to throw the car in the air and then it hit the TV. And I was like, okay. So, like, not intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where parents go first is like, it's intentional. And I'm like, most of the time, not intentional, right? Like, most of the time, just a weird sort of error that has occurred with kids because they were testing the limits of life, right? And that's what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Um, so I think, yeah, I mean, it's a whole thing. So we went through this throwing phase, and so what I had to do is I had to create a lot of things for him to do that he could throw. So I would put a bucket on the couch, and I would give him like those soft squishy balls, and I was like, okay, try to make it into the bucket,
Yeah.
right? We have these things from Amazon where you know those like couches, the like foldable couches.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So you can fold it up into like a square, and then there's like this Velcro piece that goes around, and it looks like either like a hockey goalie or like a baseball catcher or whatever, and it has little holes in it, and you can like throw into there. And that way you could throw as hard as you wanted because it was just going directly into this like couch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we really just had to get really creative for a while, and Pinterest is my best friend. Completely my best friend.
Okay.
Because I feel like even though like I'm on social media a lot, like Instagram becomes this really overwhelming like thing that you can just constantly like scroll and scroll and you're just like, all right, this is too much. Pinterest, I can like get a few ideas and I can like move on with my day.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, a lot of throwing related ideas. Thankfully, we're past that. But there is always phases in life where things will get broken and stuff doesn't go quite right. And
Yeah.
I think just really remembering that, like, yes, you like lost your shit for 2 seconds, but that is like creating this human's mindset. And so the last thing I want to do is give him anxiety or OCD or any of those things, right? Like that's the last thing I want to do because I
Yeah.
see it in these little kids and it is just like I see it in these little kids every day. And I'm just like, oh, and I just like want to give him a hug and I'm like, let me just hug you. Like just hang on a minute,
Yeah.
right? And like I'll have kids in my office who just come like sit on my lap and they just want me to like be there and be present, right? And like that's okay.
Mm.
But I think it's just even in the midst of the chaos, I just want to really come from a loving, good place. And I know it's really hard, right? You've worked all day long, you're exhausted. I get it. The lack of sleep, totally here, right? Me and
Yeah.
coffee are best friends. Me and coffee are absolutely best friends. Um, but at the end of the day, I just really look back and think like I'm creating a whole person and I'm creating their mentality and
Mm-hmm.
how they're going to engage with the world. And like, I guess it's easy when I have perspective because I go to work every day, right? And I see these things that like are on the like not good spectrum, right? And so I think it gives me a lot of perspective every day, but it doesn't mean that I'm perfect, right? And I think you can agree with that, right? Like, I'm
Yep.
sure there are things in parenting that you've done that you're like, ooh, that wasn't
100%.
great.
Oh yeah. In fact, I say probably every day. Like if we really had to get honest, there's always probably something every day that I'm like, could I have done that differently? Yeah, probably could.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just too tired. I'm like, forget it. Just whatever. Just let it happen. Like, just let it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Like, it just is what it is.
And you mentioned kind of just this idea of kind of even the anger. I heard you mention that that's if I were to go out and I like the car incident and the TV, that if you were to kind of get big and get loud, that it would be about you. Could you say more about that? Like why would
Sure.
coming from that place be about you?
Because it doesn't benefit him for me to sit there and scream at him and be like, don't do this, don't do that, right? And like come at him. He was like 2.5 at the time. Like,
Yeah.
how is that gonna benefit him at all in any way? It's
Mm-hmm.
not, like it's really it's not gonna work like that, right? And so at the end of the day, all it would do is make me feel better. And that's the crazy thing, right? Is like does it really make you feel better? Because then, like, I feel like when I do lose my shit,
Mm-hmm.
I feel this like immense amount of like shame and just guilt. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, why did I do
Yes.
that? Right. And so I think if we can just alleviate that part, right? Just take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath And this, I'm laughing because I was talking on another podcast about why I got into meditation and mindfulness and things like that, and that was kind of a wild journey.
Okay.
Um, and so for me, just like taking a deep breath, and I think about it like this, like just because there's a tornado going on around me doesn't mean that I need to respond, right? Like I need to take a moment and just be like, it's okay. We're okay. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna like work this out together, right? So even though he was 2.5, I treat him like he's an adult, right? So I sat him down. I said, hey, buddy, like, just tell me what happened. Like, let's just be honest. I said, don't lie. Just tell me what happened. And he said, like he said, he thought it was funny. And I said, okay, buddy, well, do we think that's funny now? And he was like, well, no. And I was like, okay. And so the natural consequence of that was, guess what? When he wanted to watch TV, he couldn't because he couldn't see the
Hmm.
TV. So
Yeah.
the natural consequence there was like, yeah, this sucks. You can't see the TV. Like half of the TV is black. Like, like you can't see the TV. And so we kind of
Hmm.
left it like that for a while because I wanted him to realize like that's what happens when you do this thing, right? So it was a bigger sort of natural consequence for him to learn that that TV doesn't work now than for me
Yeah.
to sit there and like, what is berating a kid gonna do? Nothing. It's not going to do
Hmm.
anything. You're not going to benefit from that. Like, and again, I get it. You were like pissed,
Yeah.
right? Like, you go to work all day, you got to pay for this dang TV. It's a whole thing,
Hmm.
right? Um, but I just think about it as everything in life is replaceable. My kid's mental health is not. It's non-negotiable,
Mm. Yeah.
right? My
How?
kid's physical health, non-negotiable.
Yeah. I was just going to ask. I mean, again, to kind of have this now in your current brain where you're,
Yeah.
maybe more regulated right here, right now, hopefully,
Yeah, totally.
that it seems like it might be an easier thing to say, but when you're in it,
Yeah.
excuse me, sorry about that.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, we're in the midst of all of that chaos. One kid's got an ear infection at the moment. It's a whole hot mess.
Sorry about that.
It was that chocolate. It just kind of wafted in.
Down the wrong pipe. Goodness. Okay. Whew. We're back. So, just getting to that point, I imagine isn't easy.
Sure. Yeah. Um, so
How
I'll
did
take
you
it
do
from
it?
there. I'll take it
Yeah,
from
I
there.
would just. Yeah.
How did I get to that point? So the first two books that I ever wrote were about meditation and mindfulness for kids. So I started working with adults and I realized that like adults really lacked basic coping skills. And so I said if adults do, kids definitely don't.
Hmm.
So I started doing that when our oldest was about 6 months old. Um, and I actually started out doing meditation and mindfulness, not because I thought it was like this super cool thing, but solely because um, I thought I was going to get an A in the class and I thought I was going to be able to sleep. It was a college class.
Okay.
And so our teacher comes in, and I was just talking about this last week. It turned into this whole like other conversation. When our teacher comes in, he has this like beret. He's like very eccentric. I don't know what this man is about to teach us. But half of my class is asleep like midway through the class. It was like 9:30 in the morning. Um,
Okay. I know
it
those
was like
classes.
nine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, it was like 9:30 in the morning. It's a bunch of like college athletes. Like everyone was just like, I'm just, we all had workouts that morning, so it's just like this is a chance for us to go to sleep. He turns out all the lights, he like puts on a YouTube video of meditation. So like that was like my experience. And then eventually I was like, huh, this is kind of cool. Like maybe if I'm stuck in this class, right? Like I might as well see what this is about.
Hmm.
And so I started doing it, and then I started challenging myself to see how long I could like meditate, right? And I just kept challenging myself and challenging myself. And the more that I went through that process, I then started like a 30-day yoga challenge where I went to yoga every day for 30 days. Um, and they say it takes about 21 days to change like your mindset overall. And so I just really focused on, I think when you are pushed to the limit so far that you just don't want to be that person anymore, is when you're going to change, right? And so for me, like being
Yes.
that people pleaser and not being able to form my own opinions or my own decisions, or, always having this weird level of anxiety. And I didn't even know
Mm-hmm.
why. So these things kind of all culminated together, and I started to do meditation and mindfulness, and then I took a couple more classes because I really loved it. Um, and so I was learning the meditation and mindfulness techniques, but then I was taking the yoga and the things that they were teaching in that yoga class, right? Like being present, just like they say that if you're living in the future, you have anxiety. If you're living in the
Mm-hmm.
past, you have depression, right? And so I
Yep.
always just try to live in the present, right? Like I really, really do. And it's a daily thing, right? Like even for me, it's been years and years and years, and it's still like a daily thing, right? Like I still really have to push myself to not respond in certain ways, even with adults, right? More so adults than kids, because kids, I'm like, oh, you're so sweet and cute and like innocent. Adults, I'm like, I'm like flipping up the middle finger and I'm like, see you later, don't care. Um, and I'm sure like no one can believe that coming out of me, but it does happen, I promise. Um, kids, I'm very sweet and kind to, not adults so much. So I mean, I think for me, it was just one of those things that I just had to really like push through over time, and then like I don't know how to explain it to you, and I don't know that I'll ever be able to do it, but like the moment that I saw our 4-year-old, I was just like, I love you so unconditionally that I don't know how I could ever be mean to you. Like I just don't know
Mm.
how I could do that.
Yeah.
And so it's not that I don't have moments where I'm like so pissed off and just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, or like his obsession right now is that he wants us to build him a Moana boat. Now, I'm not a woodworker in any way, shape, or form. And he has
Okay.
talked about it 7,000 times. I mean, I literally mean that. Like, Mom, are you going to go to Home Depot? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go to Home Depot. I don't
So,
know how to build this
go
boat.
build a boat in the
Yes.
back.
Yes, he's solicited my sister-in-law. Like he's gotten the whole thing. Like it's a whole thing. And so yesterday, even yesterday, we were driving home and he started arguing with me that Home Depot was the other way. And I was like, buddy, Home Depot is 5 minutes from our house. No, it's not. You're lying. I was like, why would I lie to you about the location of Home Depot? Like, why? So if Home Depot hears this, please send us a boat. Like,
Can
because I'm,
someone can someone do that?
yes, because I'm so tired of hearing about this boat. Um, and so like I was dealing with my husband not feeling well. I was like dealing with our youngest having an ear infection, and then this guy's in the back telling me that I'm lying about the location of Home Depot. I was just like, oh my gosh. So I just sat there and I like took a deep breath and I was like, buddy, if you talk about Home Depot one more time, I was like, I will not build this boat. Like I promise you I will not build this boat. I won't even try. Like if you
Mm.
ask me about Home Depot again. And so there isn't moments that I like don't lose my mind or think about it, right? But I think I've just become really good at changing my mindset and not like losing it, right? Or like for me, sometimes just being silent is the better option if I'm like losing my mind.
Yeah.
So like I had my Dr. Pepper in the car and I was just like sitting there just like drinking my Dr. Pepper driving home just like listening to him incessantly tell me that Home Depot was the wrong way. And I
Yeah.
was just like it's fine. It's fine. And like even my own husband will ask me like how do you stay like so calm? And I'm like I think part of it too is that like people pleaser-esque sort of mentality, right? That's still there. So I do think there are some good things about it, right? But
Okay.
generally speaking, I think I always just put everybody first. And so it
Hmm.
was just a natural progression in parenthood to put my kids first. And that was kind of this like cool thing. But so, I mean, in ways I'm like, I can understand that it was not a terrible thing. But then I just had to take out the anxiety and the things like that that kind of created this negative mindset.
Yeah.
Um, but truly, I love putting them first every second of every day. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, right? Um, but that's why I said like being an author, hardest thing. Being with my kids, easiest thing. Truly, being an author is one of the most challenging things I've like ever done. Because you just don't see how much work it takes to like start to finish, and then you're constantly promoting yourself every day, all day long. I mean, it is insanity. Like it's crazy the amount of work. Like I respect authors an insane amount. like after doing all of this. Like shout out to every author because really I do. Um but yeah, I mean, I think it's just taken a lot of time and a lot of introspection and a lot of me learning. And then, when all else goes to hell, we just wrestle in the living room.
Yes.
We just, like, and I think it
Yeah.
works for me too, right? Like, it works for me in a way that I can kind of like decompress, right? Or some of
Mm-hmm.
the things that we do. Um, so after our second son was born, I worked with someone who kind of taught me like a functional way of like working out, right? So doing it more um based on like your body and things like that, making sure you're doing the right form and stuff like that. And so one of the things we did was we did a lot of like bear crawls and a lot of like inchworm and things like that. And so I will implement that with our kids, right? Like I'm like, okay, let's race, let's do a bear crawl, right? Like, and I get out energy, so I can't possibly be frustrated if I'm too tired to be frustrated. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I
And what
mean,
I
I can't give you like a guidebook, but it was just time and patience and learning about me.
Mm-hmm. When I love what you said, and I think it kind of falls in that, right? That you you kind of got to a point. It sounds like if I heard you correctly, that you got to a point where you hit your I can either keep going down this path or I can make a change. I don't know necessarily what that change looks like. I'd have to learn all these new skills
Yeah,
and
yeah.
learn all these new things, but I have the ability to do that. And the motivation to do that was, it sounds like kind of you seeing within your kids, like I want something different for you, and I want change for you in a different path that I can help create for you. It is going to take me like learning all these new skills, and how like you said, how can I incorporate even opportunities for me to get some of my anger and my frustration kind of out in appropriate ways, and how can we just really kind of incorporate that, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Oh yeah, I mean I think, as we both have experienced, generational trauma is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we pass down these things for so long and people do things the same way for so long and then we wonder why nothing changes and it's like because you're still doing the same thing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're still in that space. And so it's not like a call to action to parents. It's not telling you to like go like, read 7 books and like whatever. Like I get it. We are truly like a generation of people who are so burnt out and like I some days just lose my mind because of my schedule. Not my kids,
Yeah.
not anything else, right? But like everything else that's going on in my life, right? And like a lot of it's like really great things, but that doesn't mean it doesn't wear on you. It doesn't mean that doesn't happen, right? And so I think coming from being a people pleaser to not, the thing that I have learned the most is making sure that I ask for what I need, right? And as a parent, I don't think we do that enough. Is like asking for what we need, right? If that be from our partner, if it be from our kids, if that be from whatever, right? Like even from ourselves, right? Like being able to ask for what you need, right? If you need a break,
Yeah.
take a break, right? Take a break, right? It seems so simple, but truly, like that's why I go to the sauna on Friday, right? I sit there
Mm-hmm.
and watch like garbage TV and just like sit in the sauna and, you know, get a little sweaty and like watch some trash TLC or whatever it might be.
Love it.
Um, and sorry TLC for saying that you're trash. It's not trash. It's just I watch we are big fans of 90 Day Fiance if you've ever seen it.
I've not seen it, but I've heard
Oh,
of it. Yes.
oh, wild, absolutely wild. Um, but like I think as a parent, just kind of finding your thing, right? Finding whatever that thing is that like makes you happier, like gives you
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment, right? For me, it's like doing sports with my kids too is like super important to me.
Yeah.
Being a college athlete, I go and I'll like play tennis with our 4-year-old, or I'll like, my husband can't wait to play home run derby, but that's a little later on. We need a little more time for that. Um, but I think the more time we spend with them, and like, I can't say this enough, and like, again, this is not for everyone. Like, I promise you, it is not for everybody, but the dynamic between our two kids, because they are both in our home, is incredible. I mean, it is so adorable to watch them. I mean, it is absolutely adorable. Like, there's no other way to describe it. They spend so much time together that they don't know anything else. Like if I ask my 4-year-old who's your best friend, he's either going to say me, dad, or his brother. Like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that's so helpful too, is that they spend so much time together that they have to learn to coexist
Hmm.
because they spend so much time together, right? So I think
Yeah.
a lot of times you'll hear all these like homeschool parents go on these podcasts and they're like, everything's great. We have like, 15 kids and everything's just rolling fine. And it's like, yeah, because you had to learn to coexist. You don't have an option.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just kind
Yeah.
of had to make it work, right? You're all in the house, you're all doing your thing. Like, let me see if there's I know there's like a very cute, I think this was like literally this morning. So in the midst of our non-sleeping chaos, right? Half the time I'm like off the bed. So at a certain point, I just get up and I'm like, forget it. Like, I'm an early morning human being. And so eventually I was like, forget it. Oh, that's something crazy too. Biggest piece of advice I could ever give to parents. And I think this was so pivotal for me, get up 2 hours before your kids. I know that's early, but there is something so magical about being able to sit and just like drink coffee or do whatever you do in the morning all by yourself. Like the world just seems like it is not there.
Yeah.
Life is not there. And you can just kind of relax and just like, I'm telling you, like, even if it's an hour for your kids, like, it's a magical experience to just to just sit, and I don't have to watch super simple songs or Miss Rachel or whatever Disney stuff we need to
Mm-hmm.
watch, right? Like
Yeah.
I can like watch, not that they're not real, but adult content, not have to not have to constantly change the channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And drink my coffee and it's warm the entire time, which is wild.
Right. And uninterrupted. You can
Yeah,
just
it's
get
warm
through
and it's
it.
uninterrupted. And if the
Yeah.
dog looks at me, I'm just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So that's my biggest piece of like advice today. If you take
Yeah.
anything from this, it's, just enjoy life and, get up an hour before your kids. Like, get up an hour. But yeah,
Well, I mean,
there they are. They were doing a
yeah.
little like, oh,
Oh.
it's like whenever I try to zoom it in, it's like moving. But yeah, there's the two of them. They like have to like interlock arms. It's a whole thing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Well, I think,
they are just so great
yeah.
together. It's
Uh, and I love that. And so as we kind of wrap up though, one of the things, and you kind of, I know you just gave us a big pro tip here, but I love to ask folks that if you had access to a DeLorean, Back to the Future, I'm a big Back to the Future fan. Um, so if you had access to one and you could go back to a point in your life, an age or whatnot, and offer yourself something, not to change things necessarily, like change events, but rather to offer yourself a word, a phrase, or even just a hug, when would you go back and what would you offer yourself?
Ooh, let me think. I think right after both of my kids were born.
Okay.
And this is a shout out to like every mom on this planet. Like I know how hard it is and I've been there and I've lived that, and like
Mm-hmm.
there is just an insane amount of pressure put on moms, right? Like I had two C-sections and I was supposed to just get up the next day and act like everything was fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was supposed to get up and take care of this whole life and just kind of
Yes.
figure it out, right? And so I think I would just go back and like give myself a hug in those that first week, just that first
Mm.
like week. Because there were moments where I was totally having a breakdown, like in the shower, just like wanting to be by myself and being like, I love this human being so much. But at the same time, like, your hormones are all over the place. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a whole mess. It's a whole mess. Um, so I think I would go back and just kind of be like, second time around was significantly easier. I will say that because I think you know what to expect and you have a little bit more of like a sense of what's going on. But first time around, wow, like that was crazy. And like no amount of help from like your significant other or family or friends like is going to change that. Like you have to walk that experience, right? Like no one could take away the fact that like my hormones were just all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think I would just go back and be like, it's okay. It's gonna be fine, right? Like we're gonna be
Yes.
okay. And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, who the heck is this person?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who is
Oh
this
yeah.
person? Right. And I think we see, on social media and all those things, all these moms who just like next day like bounce back and they're like,
Right.
look, I
It's
just
like
and I'm like, or like the moms who literally are like in labor with like curly hair, and I'm like, what? I'm like, was there
Yeah.
someone with you? They're like, did someone do your makeup in real time? Like, what is happening here? Um, I looked like a total disaster. Like, there was nothing exciting about any of that. So I mean, I think I would just go back and like be like, hey, it's okay, we're good. Like it's
Hmm.
gonna be fine. Your kids are great. It's gonna be all good.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, I think a lot of, for everything in life, social media sets a lot of unrealistic expectations.
Hmm.
Um,
I
and even
agree.
as a as a psychologist, I'm susceptible to it too. Like I want certain things for my own life, right? And so when I see
Hmm.
that in other people, I'm like, dang, like why don't I have that? Or like what's going on? Like why can't I just do more or like do that thing, right? But like I have to remember that it's not my thing, right? That's not my journey. So yeah, long story short, I definitely would go back and give myself a hug like in that first week. Like that first.
Yeah. I love that though, because I think you're so right. And in so many of the things that you've said throughout our conversation here is that just some of that, we'll get through it. It's really rough, and I see you and I hear you in that rough. And you can do this, even though sometimes it maybe seems like you're just like, I don't think I can.
Yes, and we did a lot of that when our 4-year-old was younger. So yeah, another little tip. Just being there, right? Like when your kids are having
Mm,
these full-blown tantrums, you're not gonna change it. You're yelling at them and telling them to be quiet is not gonna help you change anything. I would just get down at his level. Literally, I would sit on the floor, and I would just wait. And I would say, I love you. I'm here for you. Let me know when you're ready. And eventually I got to a point where when he was ready, he would come crawl up in my lap and I would just hug him and we would kind of sit and hang out. And now it's gotten to the point where if he's like having a meltdown, which is mainly if he's like overtired at this point, um, he will be like, Mom, can you hold me?
mm,
Right. And that's because we fostered that really good connection, like at the beginning, and it was rough, right? Like I was sitting here
yeah.
listening to this child scream and just like lose his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh. But I just had to believe in the process, right? I had to believe that it was
Yeah.
going to work. And so I would just sit on the floor and I would wait. And if that meant that I missed dinner or my dinner was cold or whatever the case might be, right? Because it never happens at a convenient moment, ever,
Of course.
ever, then that's what it was, right? Because I knew that I was fostering this whole human being. Um, and so I think that's just like, just be present
Mm,
and be there. And 99% of the time, you don't need to say anything. Like
yeah.
just being there is enough. Like you are enough. And I think that's like so crucial is like you are enough as a parent to just be there,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't always have to
Mm-hmm.
fix everything. And so
Yeah.
sometimes you don't need to fix it all, right? And that was the thing with myself too. Like I don't need to fix everything all in one day, right? I don't need to walk out of the hospital looking like I didn't just have a kid, right? Like,
Yeah. Because you did, and it's hard, and so
yeah.
it's okay to look like, yeah, I just went to hell and back because it literally feels that way.
My organs were literally just out of my body like 8 hours
Right?
before that. Like,
Absolutely.
like yes. And
Yeah.
second time around, I did make my husband videotape it. I had two C-sections, and second time I was like, I want to know. I want to see what's going on here. You need to videotape it. And our 4-year-old, I've never shown him this video. I don't know how he like we must have had a conversation about it, and he
Okay.
loves watching his brother like be born. I don't know why he likes watching this video. Loves it, loves it. And I'm like, buddy, can we turn it off? Like, I'm getting nauseous over here.
Right.
I'm like, maybe because it was my skin, but I'm
Yeah.
getting nauseous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I look back on that video and that's like a reminder of like what really happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's this incredible thing, but I think just like every mom giving yourself like grace and please don't go on social media. Just like kick it out for like a couple months. Just like leave it over there. Because you're not going to see anything you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, there are very few moms who are like really truly transparent about what it looks like.
Absolutely. And so I thank you, gosh, so much for being willing to come and talk to us about what really does happen, because it is, like you said,
I will
it's
not
not
share
usually what you
photos,
see
but
on like Instagram.
yes, I will not share photos, but you just know it was a mess. It was
Yeah,
a mess.
for sure. I can relate 100%. So I appreciate you. This is, before I let you go, this is our time for a shameless plug. So for anybody who wants to connect with you, get in touch with your books or anything like that, please plug away. Tell us Tell us how we can find you.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, social media, Dr. Taylor Harper at Better Together. Book-wise, Dr. Taylor Harper books.org, or obviously Amazon. But if you want me to sign it and all that good stuff, you got to go to the website.
Okay.
I'm doing some pretty cool things online right now, so I don't know how quickly this is going to come out, but hopefully, maybe they'll see it before this ends. I'm not sure. But I did a collaboration with Calm Strips for one of my meditation and mindfulness books for kids. So those are out right now. And I'm actually doing a giveaway, but I think this might not come out in time, but we'll see. But if it does, go check it out. Because I'm giving away a signed copy of one of my books and the calm strips that go with it. Um, and then yeah, just come and hang out with me, ask me questions. Please like DM me. If I can answer it, it's not a totally clinical question that I'm not supposed to answer. I will happily respond. Like it is me on social media. There's nobody else running it. It's just me, myself, and I. So you will get a response from me.
Wonderful. And all of those links will be in our show notes as normal, so make sure to check that out. Thank you, Taylor, so much for being willing to come share your recipe. I'm excited to put these in the oven. I am
Yes.
so thankful for you being willing to just be authentic with us and share a little bit about your story and kind of how you've been making your way through it.
We're getting there. We're getting there every day.
Yes. So thank you again, and thank you everyone for tuning in. We will see you next time. If you or anyone that you know is struggling with any of the topics that we discussed in today's episode, make sure to check out our show notes for support and resources. You can get help. Thanks again for joining us on today's episode of The Real Family Eats. If you're a parent ready to share your real life parenting story, make sure to reach out to us in our website found in the show notes. And that goes for today's recipe, social medias, support, and resources. All of that can be found in our show notes. So make sure to check them out. And make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, and stay up to date on all things The Real Family Eats. I hope you'll join us next time for more food for thought and thoughtful food. Enjoy your eats.